And we're live. Welcome to the OUYACast, episode 15, recorded on Saturday, May 24th, 2014. Your weekly source for the latest news and games and hacks for OUYAns everywhere. I'm Brandon from OUYAcentral.tv.
And I'm Steve from OUYAbrew.com. Thank you guys again for joining us for episode 15. We got a lot lined up today. On the podcast, we have Phil Royer with us, who is the creator of Super Pig Solo, which was just released. And we're gonna talk to him in just a little bit. And of course, this is Memorial Day weekend, so from Ouya Brew, Ouya Central, and from Phil, we all of course want to wish our service personnel a happy Memorial Day, and thank you guys so much for everything that you do. Really truly appreciate it. But let's get talking about some Ouya. What do we got, Brandon?
Well, the biggest news that I was just playing, and all of a sudden I got a update on my Ouya. I'm like, what's going on? And then I was rooted, so then when I got the update, I'm not rooted anymore. And I know you had some problems. I guess we'll talk about that later. But
oh yeah, we're gonna talk about that.
But the update notes shows that it's the Chupacabra hotfix number 2. Improvements to the menu sounds to reduce choppiness. Better preloading on tile art in the Discover store. Improved controller support in the ODK. That has something to do with the developers, right? Right, Phil?
Yeah, the ODK. That's it's the developer kit.
Okay, yeah. So that is for the Ouya everywhere, and to make it easier to bring apps and games to the Ouya. So that's gonna be cool. Then it fixes issues where making a game as marking a game as favorite after searching for it could cause the tile art not to load. So they had a few fixes, and it was unexpected. I wasn't expecting it.
Well, I mean, it's good that they keep on top of it, and we've talked about on the podcast several times, all the hate that Ouya gets, and oh my God, how could they possibly still be in business, and horrible this and horrible that? But the truth of the matter is, they're really on top of their stuff, and they do, they do this kind of stuff. They're always working to improve and expand and make themselves better. So it doesn't surprise me. I mean, I'm happy that they released an update. They said, oh, well, there's a few more things that we need to fix, and then they went ahead and did it again.
Right. Yep. I was checking. Okay, they did. The Abominable Snowman came out around February, I believe it was. No, December.
Okay.
And then that was in December. So then we had December, January, February, March, April, I believe. 4 months later, they came out with the Jackalope.
Mm-hmm.
No, actually, Abominable Snowman came in December. Jackalope came in February. So after February, March, April, May. May is when they came out with the Chupacabra. So that was in 3 months. So May, then we got May, June, July, August. Sometime in August we'll probably get another update. I think every 3 months I think they'll probably come out with an update.
So let's come up with some great update names right now. We'll call the next one La Cucaracha. Because we're going to squash all the bugs. Get it?
Yeah.
Okay. Wah, wah. All right.
And wah. But
well, yeah, the update was really nice. I know you just mentioned that I had some problems, and we did. So, and it's something that affects anybody that used the video boot hack that we did at Ouya Brew, where essentially you could load a video into the Ouya launcher. So here's what happened. I got the update on the Ouya, and I noticed, just like you, that I became unrooted, and that my video was now the stock Ouya again. And I was like, this isn't good. I'm trying to get back to where I was. I want the custom boot up video, and so without thinking, and it's 100% my fault, without thinking, I took the Ouya launcher APK file that I created with a custom boot video, and I just loaded it back into the Ouya, thinking, well, it's already made. I'm not going to go through all the trouble of making it again. I'll just, put it in there. Big mistake. Big mistake. And if you're listening to this, please don't do that. What happened is they obviously updated their launcher APK file, because now, and I'll tell you how I know this, now there's two MP4 videos in the launcher. There's a boot video, and then there's a boot video long. So there's like two different versions. So I know that they did something to the launcher, and by me putting the old launcher on there, it totally bricked the Ouya. Just done. It was done. I couldn't get into it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean it was bad. So I'm scrambling, and I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, like. We've got a website to run here. We've got. I can't be without an Ouya. I'm like, what am I gonna do? And finally, it's been a long time coming, but finally I just broke down. I'm like, you know what? We're not talking about a PlayStation 4 here. It's gonna cost me $500. So I'm like, let's just break down. We're gonna go, and I just went down to Target, and because I know Target sells Ouya, so I went down to Target and bought the very last Ouya, as a matter of fact. So just so people know, they're still selling, because that was their very, very last Ouya that they had. So I bought it, brought it back. As I was bringing it back, I posted a picture of it on Twitter. I don't know if you saw that, but
yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, so I brought it back home, and this kind of leads me into my second point. And I don't mean to go on a rant here, but I brought it back home, and I started messing with the Ouya and trying to get it back up to how I wanted it, to root it and all that kind of stuff. And I noticed something that nobody has ever pointed out to me since we made the original post about the one-click root APK file that we have on Ouya Brew. So this one-click root APK file, I go to load it, and it actually happens quite often that I have to go to my own website to download stuff, because I just forget about it, and then it's like lost or something like that. So
right.
I go and I download this one-click root APK file. I click on download, and it says you can't download this file because it's got a virus. Only the uploader can download the virus, or the APK file. And I was like, oh my God, have I been giving people virused APK files? It's like, once again, now I'm over the whole like Ouya thing because I have a brand new one, but I'm like freaking out that for the last 6 months or whatever, I've been giving people virused APK files. So I'm like looking around, I find it again, and I don't, what the long story, or short story version of it is basically that there's something in that APK file that flags it as having a virus, but it does not, because I scanned it on my computer. When I put it on the Ouya, I scanned it again, and then I got it from another source, which is now correctly linked on to the one-click root post, yeah. And even that website, when you click on it, says that they scanned it with 2 different scanners, and there is no virus. So of course, you can never be 100% sure, but I think it's one of those things that just triggered a false positive. So yeah, now I'm all rooted and back up, and it's really nice having my mini USB port again, because that was broken on our old Ouya for quite a while. So it's all good, and I was able to actually get the video to load on the bootloader again. So I am 100% back to where I should be, and very happy. Now I just got to get all my games loaded on there again.
Ouya Brew is back in business.
That's right. That's right. I'm very happy about that.
Are you able to recycle that old Ouya at all? Like, are you able to wipe it, restore defaults, or anything like that?
No, I did. I wiped it. I did the trick to plug in a keyboard and do the default restore and all that. But because I tampered with the Ouya launcher, that's in a protected system folder. So when you do a wipe on your Ouya, it does not wipe that, because that's where it gets the information from to wipe it. That's all the default stuff. So basically,
gotcha.
There's no way to do it. Now, I could do it by loading a firmware side-loaded, but because my mini USB port broke on the old Ouya, I don't even have that option. So it's pretty much toast. I'm going to keep it around for an extra case, an extra fan, or whatever I might need, but the chip itself is pretty much gone at this point. But it's my fault, and I know it's my fault, so we'll leave it at that. And I'll be much wiser next time, and I'm going to post the update about the launcher. It's like, please just use the newest launcher. Don't try to sideload again. So
Well, so you sideloaded the APK file for the launcher, and that's what did it?
correct, because I sideloaded an old launcher, and when they did this hotfix number 2, they updated that launcher, and I didn't know that they did, and it was my fault. I should have just redone the whole thing again, but yeah, live and learn.
Yeah.
That's what we're here for, man. We are here to provide the Ouya community with what to do and what not to do. So
Right.
hopefully people learn from my mistake.
Oh, I have. But so it does it turn on, or does it? What happens with it when you turn it on?
It turns on, the the little U circle pops up, and then it goes straight to black because there's nothing to load because the launcher's messed up. Now, had I been smart about this and side-loaded a different launcher, like Nova Launcher or something like that, I would at least have that to go into so that I can fix my error, but I didn't. So now it basically tries to launch, and there's just nothing. It's just a black screen, and I don't know if it'll ever change. So yeah, it happens. Yeah,
Wow.
I'm sure many people have wrecked their electronic devices by trying things out, and
Yeah. Wow.
But anyway, enough of my stupidity. What do we got? What else we got in the news?
Well, we have Duck Game came out with a free to try demo. When it first released, it didn't have it, but now it does, and it just yesterday I think it went live. So that's good. So for those of you that don't want to throw $10 in because you don't know what the game's about, at least now you can have a free trial to try out.
Yeah, I totally respect those guys for putting a trial out. They wanted to get their game out there first, and they did. And now I think they kind of got a lot of feedback from the community, being like, what's going on? And it's not that they didn't want to give a free trial; they just wanted to make sure that they got their game out and visible before they started working on a trial. So awesome that they did that, really, and props to them.
Yep.
It's actually just one dude, if I remember correctly. It's so kudos to him for in 2 weeks cracking out a free to try version. I think his name is Landon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's how you pronounce it. He's got a cool accent.
He's his Twitter name is @SuperJoeBob.
Yeah.
Sounds like my kind of guy.
Yeah.
Super Joe Bob.
Yeah. Lots of supers going on.
Speaking of which, we, of course, as you're hearing him now, we have Phil Royer here, the creator of Super Pixala, which just launched on the 20th, so it's 4 days old. Is that right?
Yeah, I guess yeah, Tuesday was 4 days ago. Yeah, it was 4 days ago. Yeah, wow.
How have these 4 days been treating you, man?
All right, so let me give you some stats. So the first day actually didn't ring in that much. I think let me see if I look at the stats. It rolled in about 180 sales first day. I'm sorry, not sales. 180, I wish. 180 downloads the first day. So it was kind of like, it is the middle of the, it was the middle of the week. I'm actually not sure why they start their sales off in the middle of the week. Probably to just sort of gear up for the weekend. But it was starting in accordance with the sales schedule.
Right. Yeah, I think they do all their sales on Tuesdays.
Yep, Tuesday to Tuesday, and so. Yeah, and then out of that I got about 30 sales, I think. So
that's not bad.
Yeah, not bad. I mean, if I was a studio and I released a game and that's all I got, I would imagine that would be hanging up the, closing down shop because, but that's the thing about the Ouya is it's not trying to even be an Xbox or a PS3. It is its own little thing. You've got all these micro games, these smaller games, smaller prices, and so people can play whatever they want to. It's not like, oh, everybody's got to play a certain type of game because that's all that's available. The great thing about the Ouya is you got everything to cater to everyone. So I'm really glad that right now I'm at 80 sales, 81 sales. So that's 81 people who liked the trial and bought it, and that's really encouraging because that means 80 people out of however many people out of the 641 people who downloaded the game loved the game. And the current rating is 3.6, which the store shows as 4 stars, and it's been rated by. I was looking at Duck Game. Where is it? 77 ratings. So that I'm most excited about because long term, that's a little bit more, from my perspective, from a business perspective, maybe sales haven't been they haven't been anything to go, oh man, instant hit, like I think that Duck Game is. Duck Game is fantastic, and of course Towerfall back in the beginning, that was the first big game that you could get on there. The ratings at the beginning kind of show that initial reaction, even with bugs. And I don't know if you guys downloaded it first day, but there was actually 2 bugs. One that would crash the game after about 15 levels from a memory leak. That was my bad. And the other one was a little problem with the controller where if you pulled your controller left on the whatever this thing is called, the hat, the cap. I think we were saying it was called. If you had pulled it left, it would keep going left. It wouldn't zero out. So those were just 2 things that I was able to fix, and a new update went up Thursday. So I was able to fix really fast. But I know Ouya streamed it Thursday, I think. I think it was Thursday, or it was Wednesday. Yeah, Ouya streamed it Wednesday, and it crashed during their stream. And so that night no, was it Tuesday? I think it was Tuesday. One of the days this week, Ouya streamed it, and that was really exciting because it wasn't something they planned to do, and it wasn't something I initiated. It was actually people in the chat were like, "Hey, Super Pixalo came out. We really want to see it," and that was super encouraging as well. Because I haven't done a whole lot of marketing, mainly because I wanted to see this thing kind of grow. I don't know if naturally is the right word, but I wanted to see it grow out of people actually, out of people actually liking it, and not out of hey, I paid $150 for Twitter advertising, so all the Ouya owners saw an ad for it or something like that.
Right.
Because that's if people like it, that's fantastic. If people want to play it, that's absolutely fantastic. If not, then don't pay $3 for it this weekend. It's $3, so that if you're on the edge, then go for it, man. Right. Tuesday will go up to $5, and I have no clue when the next sale will be. Probably not for about 2 months. I do plan to add a whole lot. One major request has been character selection, so that you can select different characters to play as Super Pixalo, more like different colored squares, or
right.
The request to have Bob or Alex be the face of Pixalo, and you can jump around as Bob or Alex. Alex, if you don't know, is the guy at Ouya with the beard. And actually, I gotta talk to Super Joe Bob and see if I can use his face, because he's got a fantastic beard. I don't know if you guys saw the Kill Switch interview they did with him, but he has hair down, really long wavy hair, and this beard straight out of Louisiana.
He's like the lost member of ZZ Top or something.
Exactly. He looks like someone from Duck Dynasty, basically.
Nice.
Which is very fitting. It was probably what do they call when actors get really involved in in a character? Was that a character assimilation or something like that?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I don't know the exact term though.
He's prepping for Duck Game, which is a fantastic game. But another thing that's going to come to Super Pixalo, hopefully by mid-June, if not earlier, is timers on the levels, and that will be optional. You can basically select different modes for playing the game. So there's the normal mode, and that's how it is now. I don't personally like timers on levels because that stresses me out, and I like to just enjoy games. I'm more of a casual gamer, but I also say that I say that lightly because my favorite game is Battlefield, and I will play that for hours, and that is not casual. But that's a totally different type. Like
Right.
that's like my football. I'm not into sports, so that's my football. I get all hyped up about that. Um, and But this is more like Super Pixelo. It's like you go at your own pace. Obviously, the more you play the game, more levels you do, it's going to get harder and harder, and that's good. I know. Let's see. I'm going to call out some of the Ouya forum guys who've been playing the game. I know that Starfighter, I think his name is Starfighter, has beaten every level
Oh, wow.
already.
Wow.
He is blazed through. He actually pointed out several bugs being like this level. I'm looking for it was Starfighter. He's from Sweden, which is really cool because I never thought of like I've been thinking of like Ouya is very U.S. and then it's like the people who've been playing it and loving it are from all over the world. Ouya actually gives you in the analytics the number of countries, the purchases per country. I haven't actually checked that, but I'll have to check that, and that will be cool. Make a map or something showing how many people have been assimilated by Super Pixelo. But yeah, Starfighter I think beat all the levels except for two, which there's one bonus level and one 2010 level that I think you can't beat because there's a block that is placed just in the wrong place, and but which is not that bad. It could have been worse. Like everyone who played the game couldn't save their data, or everyone who played the game, you know, well, we did have the crashing bug, but that was like 45 minutes into the game, so at least it wasn't like every 5 minutes.
All right.
So it could have been way worse, and that was like, you know, leading up to releasing the game. All I was thinking about is I'm going to release this thing and it's going to be just crap. It's just going to be like I've somehow not hit every bug, and everyone's going to hit every single bug, and so it's really, really cool that. It's cool to me that there's only been like two major bugs and maybe like 5 little tweaks here and there.
Speaking of the guy beating all the levels, I heard on the open office hours with Ouya on Monday they said there were going to be a contest who can post a picture on Twitter or something of who.
Yeah, we talked about that. I for launch week I'm a little against it. Because I don't like the timer. I don't like, you know, it's not supposed to be a competitive game, but
Right.
I'm realizing that that's what's going to drive sales in the future.
Right.
Is the ability to be competitive. So I've already started working on timers, scoreboards, so that you can. So right now I'm thinking like you complete a level, and there'll be a score thing of like the fastest someone is. You know, the top 5 fastest times, and then your time. So you're always trying to get like the fastest time. So it's not like I was gonna do something like excuse me. I was gonna do something like what's it called? Tower Fall, where you have like the first tier that you beat, and then the second tier, which is even harder. But I think it might actually be funner if you're just competing against each other, and then your name for each level, you know, someone else's name is that number 1, and I think that would be really cool.
Well, you know what? I want to offer a suggestion only because it is absolutely the funnest way I've ever seen something done. You remember Mario Kart 64? You played that?
Oh yeah.
One of the best features of any game I've ever played was that stupid ghost that you had where like you did a level and then you tried it again and it like made that ghost like you had to beat yourself basically. That was so cool, and like I've never seen another game do anything like that before, and it just seems so natural. Like why? Because like timers do that, right? But like that whole ghost thing, that would be amazing.
That would be cool. I don't. I gotta learn how to do that.
That'd be tough.
Yeah, I gotta learn how to do that. There's something to add to the feature list and things that I programmatically don't know how to do. But of course that's like most things, and then I just sort of figure it out as I go.
Well, everybody's a critic, man. Everybody's got an opinion. It doesn't mean you have to do it, but that's
Hey,
what I
I
was
love
thinking.
these opinions, and I'm not against hearing opinions. I was talking to the guy who's making Super Renegade Response on Twitter, and he's making a really great game. That's almost like Dead End, but it's top down, and it's more like 8-bit retro. It's a ton of fun. There's actually a demo on the Ouya forum that you can download and play if you're a member, and it's really fun. And I'm excited about that. But he was saying, what was he saying? Oh yeah, we were talking about how the free to play part or the free to try part of Super Pixelo gives you 8 levels, right? So you got the training level, which I give you like no hints on how to complete, and that's on purpose, because I honestly hate it when there's like every inch of the game, your training level is like, here, take your first step, take your second step, now jump. So I basically was like, all right, well, I'll do all that without saying it. And so I had, you had to jump over 3 different heights, so you got, you could see, oh, so I can jump higher, and this is kind of where my max height is. Okay, cool. Next thing is that long jump. Okay, so if I jump from here, I can almost make it, but the ceiling, I hit that. So, but if I'm a little bit down and a little bit forward, it's perfect. Okay, so there I have to like watch for my environments, and then of course you go down, and then you hop on the small blocks, and you work on your accuracy a little bit. You avoid the shocks. You learn a bit about falling with direction, and that's all something that you're gonna learn not because I'm showing you, but because the level is teaching you that. And I think that's really important in level design. At least to me, I want to give you something that you are figuring out, not that I'm showing you how to figure out. And that's what I'm really excited about, like Starfighter and stuff, like blasting through these levels. And I think Downing got really far. I know my coworker Vince got really far. He's my only coworker with an Ouya, and so he downloaded it, and he got through the 80s, I think, on Friday. And I think at work we're planning a Super Pixelo night. We're all like, I work for Spark Experience in Bethesda, and I do web development. So I work on websites, and we do some small games for clients, but they're like real like web games and stuff like that, and real short, like couple-minute games. And then we mostly do web applications and stuff. And so like me doing games is something completely different. Like real games, other than like a web game, is something very different from our office like flow. And so everybody's like, "Hey, whoa! Yeah, oh, this is actually a game. It's not like a little web flash thing. Let's play it." So we're gonna do like a Super Pixelo night sometime soon, and I'm gonna get them to all. I'm gonna try to get them all to play Duck Game too, because I feel like that would be hysterical.
That's awesome. Well, I hope a lot of people. I know you've said you got 81, purchases, and if you're listening to this, of course, get your purchase in before the price goes up, because obviously it's better for you. But in a way, and I want you to know, I did the math on this, right? I took the extra couple minutes and I did the math on it.
Awesome. I was wondering why you're so quiet.
Yeah. So the amount of purchases that you've had so far will buy you 1,266 Huggy diapers. How excited are you about that?
That's important because my wife is like right about to go into labor. Like in the next couple days, we're probably gonna head to the hospital. That's how. I'm not even kidding. That's how close we are. So that actually is great. That's 1,000 diaper changes, and that's gonna be my life for the next bit. I do plan on the baby's coming, and I'm done with school though now. So all those evenings, I was full-time school, so that's done. So now having the baby is kind of replacing that. A little more time-intensive, but you get the idea. So I don't plan on not doing any more games. Let me reword that. I plan on continuing making more games. I think that people should expect to not have expectations about like what other games I'm going to be doing, because I'm planning on going a lot of different directions. My next game is a game that's more of an interactive novella, more than anything else. Trying to do something I've never seen done. It could totally be a flop, or it actually could be very cool. And then I'm planning on doing a text-based adventure with the Ouya. So that's like a whole challenge of how the heck I'm gonna do that and not make you have to, toggle through letters in an alphabet for 2 hours. So I've got like
Zork style.
Yeah, I don't want to do it. I got to figure out how to do it so that it's not cumbersome, but it's really like nostalgic in that way.
There is a game out there right now on the Ouya that kind of does that. It's called like One Bullet or something.
One Bullet. I'm gonna grab that.
I forget, but yeah, it's a text game, and I'm pretty sure that's what it's called.
Time to look it up.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, well now I'm gonna get sidetracked.
He's gonna go play it and he's gonna go play and forget about we're doing the podcast.
Get really quiet for like.
No, I guess it's not called One Bullet, but it does have the word bullet in it. I just don't know what the name of the game is. But yeah, it's like black background, white text, and you just make choices based off of whatever scenario they put you in. I don't remember exactly. But.
Yeah, let me know. I want to see that. I want to check that out. I have some codes to give away at some point, probably at the end of the podcast.
Sweet.
All right.
Let's see. Hold on. I'm going to check the podcast time right now. We're at 30 minutes. Yeah, we got at least another good 20 minutes, man. So, you were talking a little bit earlier about Dead End. Have you played that yet?
Dead End? Yeah. Absolutely.
And what do you think?
I love it. Okay, so what I really love about it, and I'll actually be doing I forget who you contacted me. I'll be doing a playlist store in the next few weeks, and I think I might even do a blog takeover. But Dead End is actually a game I want to put on that, and it really surprised me because it just from the front it looks like I don't know what I expected. But it sounded like your typical zombie game, and so it has a free to try, so I gave it a shot, and I love the aesthetic. The aesthetic is incredible. It's got that kind of film grainy Quentin Tarantino, what was that movie?
Grindhouse.
Terror. Yeah, Grindhouse feel. It's got that feel, very gritty and nitty. The style is gorgeous, and what they've done is they've taken a really simple, I think before the podcast you were talking about what are those little like handheld devices. You can actually still. I was over at Target the other day, and in the tabletop section, you can actually still pick up those little keychain gaming things that have like Tetris and like one of those card games where you avoid the car things.
Well, actually, if you go to Ouya Brew right now and you go to our game section, we just did a review on Dead End, right? So you click on there. This is the coolest thing ever. I kid you not. The first link on there, it's in the description. It says old handheld games with monotone screens, and that's like the underlying like hyperlink. If you click on that, there's actually a website that we link to, and you can play like a lot of those classic like Tiger type games online in your browser. It's so much fun. I've probably spent hours and hours playing those stupid little Tiger games on this website.
Yeah, exactly. And those were my gaming experience a lot growing up because I was limited to 2 hours a week to play video games growing up, and so I didn't have our games. My parents were very selective of what we were allowed to play and stuff, and so. I had a really weird selection of games that I grew up playing, and like Duke Nukem was one of the things. Of all things, Duke Nukem 3D was one of the ones I was allowed to play, but I wasn't allowed to play like
Mortal Kombat.
No, I wasn't allowed to play those or like Call of Duty or anything like that. And it's just an interesting. I grew up with that, and so I wanted to especially with Super Pixelo. So here's something that growing up I would have been. As like an 8-year-old kid, I would have been allowed to play, and in 2 hours, I can feel like I really enjoyed a good section of the game, and so I really, I try to cater toward that because I know what it's like to be like, oh, this game has too many bad words, or is too violent, or is inappropriate in some way, or there's scandalous clothing, or who knows what. But as parents, and I'm sure I'm going to be protective in some way. You want to make sure you're not exposing your kid to machete kills at age 5.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You want to be a little more discerning, I guess. And so I hope that this game and future games will kind of cater to that.
Well, one thing I really like about Super Pixalo, and I'm sure Brandon, you might agree with me on this, but I really like that it brings back that nostalgic feeling. From my childhood, when we did the write-up on Ouya Brew, we talked about the Reese's Pieces, and you got the Willy Wonka ticket, all these collectibles that you can get that were from that time period. So it's really cool to see, just this I guess a nod to the different eras, and it's just really the 70s when you start out, you're seeing the Pong machine, and that's where your
Mm-hmm.
goal is, and
Mm-hmm.
I just think that's so cool because it's just interesting to see not only the level but the collectibles and just what the overall layout is, and I'm sure that was all done on purpose, obviously, but very, very, very cool stuff, and I was very happy to play it. I'm not quite to the level that that other guy is, but I've been trying to play all the levels, and I'm getting there.
They take me a long time. I think it takes me 4 hours to play through the game, and so I'm always super, super impressed when people are like, "Oh yeah, I got to the 2000s," and I'm like, "Holy crap, I'm impressed. I made the game," and I'm like, "Wow, I made this hard on purpose because it's I got 124 levels sounds like a lot, and then you get a rhythm going and you zip through them. And
Right.
so I was like, I need to make the curve really steep pretty soon, because if I don't, people are going to burn through the game in an hour and then just get bored. And so hopefully I don't know how many hours on average people spend playing Super Pixel. I'd love to get that data somehow. But at least at its current state, and of course when you add the timers, that's going to add a bunch more doors to playing it and replaying it. And then maybe eventually I'll be able to put a randomly generated section in there where you can just play a daily challenge level, which would be cool. I don't know how I'd pull that off. Those are all future things.
Well, we saw exactly what you're talking about on that Twitch stream with.
Tiny Pixels.
Thank you. Okay.
Yeah,
So,
she's awesome, by the way. She is amazing.
So we saw her.
Absolutely
There was that level where you had the platforms, and the one underneath it actually goes inward, and then it's basically 3 platforms. And she was trying. You had to jump up and then curve back to the left, and she was freaking out for 10, 15 minutes about that level. And I was like, yeah, I know, because I tried that level and it sucks, But
I can get through it in I think about 10 seconds. That level. But I've played through the bonus levels. Wait till you hit the bonus levels. You're in the bonus levels. They're huge. They're really huge, and so there's a few of them that I purposely they're about taking the time to get it done. You have to pretty much do the level twice without dying to get to the end, and that takes a while. I think one of the levels took me about 20 minutes to play test.
Wow.
But mostly because I was trying to be very careful so I could finish playtesting it.
I'm in the 90s right now.
Awesome. The 90s are great. They're purposely kind of ugly because I just remember video games of that era just being kind of just you played them because that was what was available, but they weren't beautiful at all. They were kind of just sort of a little bit of an eyesore, but also that that bit of a neon and stuff. I may have to go here shortly.
Okay.
So I am going to give out 2 codes, if that is all right.
It's fine.
of course it's all right.
All right. I'm going to put them in the chat here, and then I'm going to read them off. All right, the first code and this will, I'm told, I don't know how to test it out, but this will actually get you the full game of Super Pixalo for free. The first code is M5EBDC N7UA. So hopefully that was clear enough. I don't know all the Charlie Victor Tango ways to say stuff.
Yeah.
But there's one I actually don't even know how to find out if they're taken or not. So the next one will be as follows: FQY2J5QAHN. So there you go. There you got 2 full copies of Super Pixalo for whoever wants to grab them. Enjoy it. Hopefully rate it well.
Yeah, there's no hopefully. If you get a free copy of anything, you got to give it the best rating you can. No matter if you hate it, love it, doesn't matter. Best rating.
Yep. Support me. I gotta buy diapers now. So.
Exactly. Well,
All
you
right.
guys can. Go ahead, Phil. Sorry.
I've actually got to get going.
Okay. You have a good one.
Well, Phil, it was great having you on the show, man. Thank you so much, and everybody keep Super Pixalo in mind. Go ahead and download it today, or pay the $5 and download it after Tuesday.
Yep, it's
Phil,
on
get
sale
more
all
diapers
the way
that way.
until I think it's on sale either until Monday night or Tuesday morning. I can't remember exactly, but it might be until noon on Tuesday if I'm not correct. But there's plenty of YouTube videos out there. If you have any questions, feel free to find me on Twitter, ask me there, and of course your buddies over at Ouya Brew and Ouya Central will take care of any other questions that I can't answer.
Yes,
Thank you so much for joining us, Phil. We really appreciate it. You tell that wife hello, and good luck on your new kid. We're rooting for you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Have a great night.
You too, man.
Yes,
so just so everybody knows, the way that you go about putting in that code is you log into your OUYA.TV account. You just click on My Account at the top bar there, and then from there you sign in to your gamer portal as a gamer. When you put in the codes, it will give you your free copy. So I'm going to just say the codes one more time in case you missed it. The first one is M as in Mike, 5E, B as in boy, D, C, N, 7UA, and Brandon's going to give you the second one.
And also, you can do this on the website, and you can also do it on your Ouya console. If you go to Manage, go to your account, and then go to Payments, and then underneath where your credit card information is, there's Redeem Code. So the second code is FQY2J5QAHN. And
you guys literally have like 24, maybe 48 hours before Brandon and I redeem these ourselves. So
yeah, you guys better hurry up and
get on that.
Well, yeah, we'll definitely have to try to redeem it just to make sure somebody got it.
I mean, you have to. You have to, because I would hate for those codes just to sit there forever.
Right, exactly. But
so aside from Super Pixalo, yeah, what else we got?
Well, I wanted to say something about Super Pixalo real quick, but when I got into the '90s, I was kind of shocked on the way that the map it went vertical, and I wasn't really expecting that, and that was a cool feature. I thought everything was just going to be the same on every level, with a different different map setup, but. Yeah, that really surprised me, and kudos to Phil, and thanks for making this game. But let's get on to the other Ouya news, and we have Acorn Assault, one of Ouya Brew's favorite games, is on sale for 50% off until Tuesday, and and $2.50. Come on, can't beat that.
I'm telling you guys, I mean. I love that game. I can't say enough good things about it. It's fun. It's simple. It has all the right elements for just it's not the game that you're gonna sit there and play for hours, right? You're gonna play it for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, but it's so worth it. Just pay the money and get it. It's fun.
Steve, we gotta play online to get into each other. After the podcast, Ouya Central versus Ouya Brew.
Yeah, if you want.
We
Oh
could do
wait,
it.
we got a question here. Oh, Adrian. So I don't. I'm sure you probably already got it, Adrian. But so from the website, yeah, you just go to ouya.tv. He's asking about how to redeem the code. So once again, you go to ouya.tv. You click on My Account and you log in, and then you have to log into the gamer sign-in, which I, I've never really gotten about their website. You have to do 2 logins to redeem a code, but you click on the gamer sign in. You sign in with your ID and password again, like you would normally, and then you can redeem the code there. So that should get you your copy of Super Pixalo.
Hmm. I didn't know you can go on the I didn't know you can go
Oh,
on the website to redeem a code.
yep. We when we got to do the advanced copy of Sulfjord, we got a code that we were able to download it by using the website. So it works.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. And let's see here. I know we're getting close, man. We're getting close. We're at about 45 minutes, and we always try to wrap it up under an hour. So there was 2 more things we're going to talk about. The first one was Chain Gang Chase Beta. Tell
And
us
that
about this a little bit.
this game, I wanted to talk about it because it was kickstarted and it just released the beta. I'm trying to get the description for you guys, and it's an 8-player game, and it's played with 4 controllers. Um, the concept is up to 8 players are convicts chained together. So all 8 of you guys are chained together, or you could play, I guess, like maybe 2-player, 4-player. But you're trying to escape, working together, fighting the law, and winning. You can also has like you can create your own maps for free online. It looks like a good party game to play. And the reason why I wanted to bring it up is because Ouya Central helped kickstart it. And if you go to the credits, OUYAcentral.tv is in the credits.
All right.
So yeah,
That's awesome, man. I remember seeing that game, the demo of it. That looks pretty cool.
yeah. Even if you look at the gameplay trailer, it's kind of cool. It looks like they have like different options where you can try to like I don't know. I'm definitely gonna try this out.
Oh, I hope so. You backed it.
Right. But and other unexpected news, Ouya came out with YouTube on Ouya. What do you think about that, Steve?
That's going to be one of our official reviews for next week. But it's really great. I mean, it's high time that they came out with a YouTube app. You were able to load the YouTube XXL app or whatever it was, basically YouTube for TV before, and it worked very well on Ouya. The
Mhm.
one that they have now, it looks exactly like the one on my Roku. I mean, like down to the everything. I mean, it's a perfect replica. So I'm
Yeah,
sure it's pretty much the same exact thing, but yeah, it seems to work.
yeah. I think it's probably ported over. I don't know either if it's from that or if it's just like somehow developed with that YouTube for TV. Because I know you have to like
Hmm.
when you log in, there's like you have to give it permission to link it to your YouTube account or your Google account. And yeah, it has controller support. You guys can go on there and listen to the OUYAcast, catch up on those old episodes.
That's very true. Yeah, I didn't even think about it. You can listen to the OUYAcast on there because they're all under Ouya Central's username because Ouya Brew's too lazy to do it. I'll just post on the website, whatever.
But yeah,
One more thing, just before we wrap it up. I don't know if you saw your email, but while we were doing the podcast, I was looking at the Ouya Brew email, and I actually got a confirmation from Jared Yeager and from Bob Mills saying that they want to be on the OUYAcast next week.
that's
Like
awesome.
both of them said it. So
That's great.
So hopefully next week we will finally get Jared Yeager and Bob Mills from Ouya on the podcast. We'll be able to talk to them. So if you guys have any questions or insults or anything you want to throw their way, just make sure that you send them to us at Ouya Central TV and at Ouya Brew, or just go to our websites and of course contact us, on our websites there. We're gonna take all questions and we'll make sure that they answer them. We'll
Yep.
we'll make sure that we give them a hard time. So.
But yeah, join us next week at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We'll have the Ouya team with us.
Unless something bad happens, which we're gonna cross our fingers that nothing bad happens, and they're gonna be here.
Yeah, but yeah, exactly. It's gonna be a good show, and if join us live and you can ask questions with the Q&A, and no problem, Adrian Smith. He redeemed the second code.
Good job, Adrian.
That's cool. Go try out Super Pixalo. But that's it for this week. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Phil. Thank you, Steve. You guys can join us next week, same time, same place. Have a great week.
Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.